back to my YouTube channel. Now that we are done with the basic introduction, I guess, I think it's time we start doing the real thing. So today we'll be working on learning how to make a straight cut skirt, okay? So these are my fabric and what we are going to use. This is my chalk, this is my scissors, my tape, and this is the fabric that we're going to use to learn it. So we're going to be starting with the basics, the straight cut skirt, normal straight cut skirt that we all know. Okay. So this is the fabric I'll be using to teach us how to make the straight cut skirt. The person's measurement we are going to be working with is hip 35. Okay. So remember that whenever you are making a straight cut skirt, you have to be mindful of three basic measurements, especially if you're making a simple straight cut skirt. So let's say four basic measurements. Four basic measurements rather. So we're going to be talking about the waist measurements, the waist, the hip, the knee, and the skirt length. Okay. So please, if you're a beginner, when you are taking somebody's measurement, always take the knee measurement. That's where the knee falls. But for some of us, we can assume it and we'll get it right. So, like I said, we are working with hip 35. So this is 35 hip, okay? And we have like how many seam allowance here? We have 9, which is very okay. Okay, we have 9 here, which is very okay. But if you are confused on how to know what to fold when you are folding, when you want to make something for somebody or for yourself, I will advise that you listen to what I want to say now. When you want to know what to fold, what you just do is to get the biggest part of that person's body. And for this skirt now we are making, the biggest part is the hip measurement, which is 35, right? So I can decide to put 6 inches sewing allowance. If I want to do 1 inch seam allowance, I can decide to put use 12 inches extra allowance. If I want to do 2 inch seam allowance, I can decide to do 9. If I want to do just what's it called, just 1.5. Like this one we are going to do here, we're just going to be working with 1.5. Do you understand? So now let's see how it goes. So if you are working with 1.5, I will have 1.5 here, which is okay. And at the end of the day, I'll still have 1.5 here, okay? Because this side is 2, and we have extra 2 here, making it 6, right? So this is 2, 1, 2. Remember that whatever you are cutting, most times you do your folding by 4, okay? If you are cutting something, most times you fold by 4, which is what I just folded now. And I've left my 1.5 seam allowance. You can see that. And if I open here now, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's making it 6. Okay. So when you divide the 6 by 9, you're going to be having something closer to 1.5 or something. So the next thing to do is to take the vertical measurement. Remember that I've made a video on measurements, measurement details and measurements. So in case you are finding it difficult with your measurements, you can refer to those videos, okay? So it's expected that where we are starting from supposed to be the waistline, right? So for this person, I'm going to use 7 inch to get her hip line, okay? So see what happened here. I just removed a space for my band. I'm going to put band here, so that's why I'm removing that space, okay? That's why I'm removing this space. So I'll mark my hip line. Remember that I said vertical measurement is the measurement you take to know the actual positions of those body parts, as you want to know where the positions are. Horizontal measurement is when you want to know the exact measurement of those body parts. So you are seeing it is playing out now. So this is 7. Okay, remember I removed for the band where I will fix the band, because if I start from here, by the time I finish sewing, the hip will come down, the knee will come, it keep going down because you didn't take note of that. So that's why I'm removing. I removed 1.5. Okay, this is 7 for my hip line. So the knee, we're going to use 15. Okay, so the skirt length, we are working with 22. Okay, and then the sewing allowance, the seam allowance, we're working 1 2 3 extra 3 inches seam allowance, so that you can use 2, you can even use 1, depending on how you want the folding, the down part, how the folding will be. Anyhow you want to use it to still okay. In case you don't have enough fabric, you can always use what you have to make up what you want to do. Okay, so I'm done with the vertical measurement. This is the hip line, this is the knee line, this is the skirt length, this is seam allowance. Remember, I'm removing this one because of the band. So I'm taking my horizontal measurement now. Remember I said that the person I'm making clothes for, her hip is 35. Okay, let's start with the waistline. Her waist is 28. Okay, so 28 divided by 4 will give us 7. But I want to show you something, the quick way of doing this without stress, especially if you're having problem with calculations. It's still not an issue. It will not stop you from learning how to sew. Okay, so this is my tape now. This is my tape, and we are working with waist 28. This is 28. So what do? I will divide 28 by 2. After dividing, I'm dividing again by 4. Remember, we folded our fabric into 4. So I have my division. I have 4. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I have 24. 28. So let me take out 1, because after dividing, you're just going to use 1. See, I've got 7 at the end of the day. So now that I've got 7, I'll go and put it here. I'll mark my 7. Okay. I'll mark my 7. I'm going to use my seam allowance, which is 1.5, 8.5. Remember, we're working with 1.5 seam allowance. So why is always good that you note the seam allowance you're working with, so that once you are done cutting, you don't need extra measurement. You just measure out the 1.5 seam allowance outside and run your thread, and you are done sewing. So when I come to the hip line, see what happens here. Our hip line is 35, right? So this is my 35. Okay, the same thing I did in waistline, I'm going to do it here. You don't need to know calculation before you learn how to sew. So see what I'm doing here. I'll just divide by 2. First division is by 2, second division is by 4. Okay, look at it. 1 2 3 4. I've gotten it. So I'm just going to take 1 out of all those divisions, which is 8.5. 8.5. You can call it 8.5, you can call it 8.5. Okay, so that is it. See it here, 8.5. Remember I told you that what we are using is 1.5 seam allowance, so I don't need to do anything here. I'm just going to open this seam allowance because everything I need is already there. Okay, so when you are doing the knee measurement, remember that if you want to make a pencil skirt, you have to, the hip and the knee are not going to be the same thing now. So depending on how snatchy you want the skirt to look like, so you can remove 2 inches, you can remove 4 inches, you can remove, if it's a stretchy material, you can still go ahead to remove as much as 6 inches depending. But for this one, I'm just going to remove 2 inches seam allowance. Okay, so since we have 35 as our hip line, I'm going to use 33. Remember, we have 35, so I'm counting backwards, which is 1 2. So I'm starting with 33. So I'm just going to fold it. If you want it to snatch very well, if you really want a pencil skirt with material that is not stretchy, remove as much as 4 inches. Okay, if you want it normal, just normal stretch skirt, but that is a bit shapy, you remove what I'm just removing now, which is 2 inches. So look at it, this is 33, you fold into 4. Very simple. If I fold into 4, I'll take just 1. Okay, which is 8 and 1 inch, or 1.5. So I'll just keep it here. See, and please take note of how my this thing is going. You see that I'm taking it from where there is fold. If you take it this way, by the time you cut out this cloth, everywhere is going to open. So I'm taking my measurement from the folded part that I did not cut, the folded part. Did you see it? That does not have any cut. So that when I open, this folded part is going to be the front, while this one too at the back is going to be the zip side. I'm going to join here and put my zip here. This is the zip side. Okay, this is the back of what I'm cutting, and this is where the zip will be. This is the front. You can see the front doesn't have any cut. For a normal skirt, the front doesn't have any cut. So always take note of where you are keeping your tape from and where you are measuring from. So this is it, and this is my 1.5 seam allowance. So what do I do here? If I have a curved ruler, but why I'm not using all these things is for you to know that you can start from anywhere. You see, I don't have a curved ruler. I'm using my tape to do that curve now. So I just keep my tape like this. Okay, remember, when I come here, I don't need to cut anything because I measure with the hip line. Okay, you are seeing the shape of my skirt. So because if I start using curved ruler now, I don't have the means to get those things done. You will be like, so when I get, please start, let's start with our tape. We can work with this tape, it's very sufficient. Okay, so see the curve now. So I'm going to cut out this skirt. I'm going to notch it out like this, as in cut out small thing, so that you know where the zip seam allowance stops and where the center of your skirt, where it starts. Okay, or where it is. It's looking like somebody's skirt already. There's something I want to call your attention to also here. To avoid having a fold these days, you don't want that skirt, except you want to use the dart to create a style. But if you don't want to use the dart to create any style, you don't dart skirts again, especially at the front. So what you're going to do is to pull out this cutout, depending on the person. If this person has tummy very well, you can go down as far as 1.5, but the basics is always 1. Okay, you do 1 and shape it this way, shape it towards the waistline. So with this now, I'm not going to dart this skirt. I'm not going to dart this skirt, and at the same time it's not going to show because I've taken out what must have caused the fold when I finish sewing the clothes. Okay, so you just do it this way, and you are good to go. So let me quickly run down what I just said. This is the hip line, this is the knee line, and this is the actual skirt length, and this is our seam allowance. On this, if you check properly, I've added 1.5 inch here. I've also added 1.5 inch here. This is the front of my skirt. You can see it. That is the front of the skirt. Did you see it? The front of the skirt. So, and this is the back. The back is just going to look like something like this. Did you see it? So by the time I join, I'm going to put zip here. Or if I don't want to put zip, I can rope it. I can put rope, and this is how it's going to look like. Okay, this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to cut out the band I'm going to use. Remember, I removed 1.5 inch band. Okay, so I'm going to cut out 4 inches because I want to fold it. I want it to have a fold. So I'm going to cut out 4 inches. Okay, that's 2 here. So 1.5, I'll use half to sew it on the fabric. So that is it. You understand? So if I fold it into two like this is 4 inch in all. I'm going to fold it this way and put it on the cloth. I'll use half to join it and we are good to go. So please do well to hit on the like button, subscribe if you have not, because we have a lot to do on this channel. And if you have not subscribed, do well to subscribe and drop your comments on the comment section. So we're going to go and sew this cloth now to come back with the outcome. Okay, I'm going to join our straight cut skirt, just the simple straight cut skirt that you know. I'm going to join it now. Okay, like I said, this is the front, this is the front, this is the back. So first of all, what I will do is to remember this one is going to have slits at the back. Okay, so that's it. I'll just divide it into two. So for this one now, if you want, the band to be thicker, you can put you can use pepper gum to hold it, as in you use gum and iron and put pepper gum on it. If you don't want, you can do it like I'm going to do my own now. There are several ways of achieving band. I can even decide to fold it this way and just sew it and weave out this place. If that is one, just do whatever that works for you. I can decide to do it this way. Do you understand? I'll just sew it and it will be looking this way. I can decide to do it that way depending on what I want. But for this one, I'm just going to do it the normal way of putting bands. I'm sewing from the back now. See? To the back. I'll put zip here. I'll put zip here. I'll hem the mouth. And we are good to go.